You're listening to Vaquero News, the Valley Student Station.
Good afternoon, Vaqueros. It is Monday, February 7th, 2022. It is currently 60 degrees outside of our Edinburgh studio, and we're coming to you live. I'm Rodolfo Alvarado.
I'm Gerardo Escalon.
And you're listening to Vaquero News. On top of our newscast this week is climate change. It doesn't just affect the world, it also has an effect here in the Rio Grande Valley. What a local activist says. Here's Felix Balderas with more.
For the past few years, weather patterns have shifted, causing severe weather-related events, such as last year's freeze in Texas. Director of Environmental Studies at UTRGV, Paul Jorgensen, explained that climate change refers to the multitude of impacts that global warming presents.
And then all the effects that will come from that. So melting Arctic and Antarctic ice, increased frequency of droughts, but also severe weather and wildfires that result from that.
Jorgensen says that we are likely to see more severe weather and more divergent weather patterns back to back. In reference to the freeze of February of 2021, Jorgensen attributes fault to the politicians and government officials of Texas who failed to prepare. Emergency Management Coordinator for Hidalgo County, Ricardo Saldaña, responds to the emergency disasters. Saldaña recommends preparing yourself when asked how to prepare for natural disaster. For the past few years, weather patterns have shifted, causing severe weather-related events, such as last year's freeze in Texas. Director of Environmental Studies at UTRGV, Paul Jorgensen, explained that climate change refers to the multitude of impacts that global warming presents.
And then all the effects that will come from that. So melting Arctic and Antarctic ice, increased frequency of droughts, but also severe weather and wildfires that result from that.
Jorgensen says that we are likely to see more severe weather and more divergent weather patterns back to back. In reference to the freeze of February of 2021, Jorgensen attributes fault to the politicians and government officials of Texas who failed to prepare. Emergency Management Coordinator for Hidalgo County, Ricardo Saldaña, responds to the emergency disasters. Saldaña recommends preparing yourself when asked how to prepare for natural disaster emergency like a freeze or a storm.
The key to all of this is preparedness. Have at least anywhere to 7 days worth of food, water, any of your medication. Take care of your elders. Make sure you have plenty of bedding, plenty of blankets to keep you all warm.
English professor and environmental studies lecturer and activist Stephanie Herwick considers the Valley a frontline community for climate change.
We need to preserve and protect those lands and make it easier for people to farm. We need to support local food systems by going to farmers markets, by maybe even growing your own food. And we need to reach out to our city halls and our local municipalities.
Herwick continues with the solution to combating climate change.
This is one of those problems where we absolutely know the answer and we have all the tools that we need to implement the solution. And it's just a matter of political will that is keeping us from doing that.
Environmental protection is universally critical to maintaining a healthy world. Herwick encourages people to collectively keep pushing for environmental justice. This is Felix Balderas with Vaquero Radio.
For the full story, visit www.utrgvradio.com.
The first in-person student involvement fair was held last week. It was an event that gave students a chance to get involved with campus services and organizations. Here's Rodolfo Alvarado with how the fair went.
The first Student Involvement Fair of 2022 was held at noon last Wednesday on the Edinburgh campus. The event took place at E. Chaplon near the Student Union and was organized by the Center for Student Involvement, according to V-Link. Program coordinator for the Center for Student Involvement, Ashley Guzman, says that the Involvement Fair invites the different student organizations and student services to set up a table and share information about themselves with participants. Guzman talked to Vaquero Radio and described how she felt seeing the event in person.
We're super excited to see students, out here, to see student organizations out here, to see the different departments out here, just promoting their services and to see students being able to get involved in different registered student organizations.
Guzman estimated that there were about 15 to 20 organizations in attendance, such as the Elliott Chemical Society, looking to recruit new members and fundraise for their future events. Graduate student for Healthcare Administration, Niharika Kunta, representing the Elliott Chemical Society, described their organization as a group who encourages and promotes science. Kunta said the Chemical Society is using the Involvement Fair as an opportunity to get big again.
Elliott Chemical Society used to be a really strong running club, And then when the pandemic hit, it kind of just dissolved. So we basically started it anew again last semester.
Civil engineering junior Sarah Gutierrez saw the event as she was coming out of class and participated. Gutierrez had this message to share on student involvement.
Make the best out of your college years, just like get out there, explore, have fun, get to meet other people, and this is a great opportunity to do that.
According to V-Link, another student involvement fair will be held on February 17th at the same location. This is Rodolfo Alvarado for Vaquero Radio. Rapper and activist Common visited UTRGV last Tuesday and had much to say on inspiration, purpose, and what he called the pillars to greatness. Here's Felix Balderas with the recap of last week's Distinguished Speaker event.
The UTRGV Edinburgh campus welcomed rapper, actor, producer, artist, and activist Common as a headliner in the Distinguished Speaker series. Common began the event by rapping a speech about South Texas, UTRGV, and greatness. Common continued by saying,
"This first pillar to greatness, it begins with purpose and finding something you love."
Common explained how the discovery of his purpose is something he loved. According to him, purpose is something that you love doing. He continued to discuss the subconscious effect of claiming your purpose.
Claiming things works in both ways. If you claim something bad you will become it. If you claim the negative will come towards you. But if you claim the good and what you truly are purposed to do, you will live and become that.
After his first album failed, Common started expanding and growing to reach his purpose. Things began to progress as he practiced his belief and started seeing the world and being introduced to new cultures and people.
Another pillar that's supremely important is belief, because the journey requires strong belief. It's belief in self.
Common states that he felt like an imposter when he first started as a rapper and activist because he felt like he wasn't doing much. When he began to focus on real activist work, his life truly changed. Common considers the third pillar to be the act of service.
For the real revolution and change to happen, it's going to have to come from you, from the people. Because we know what's necessary in our environments. But it really does start in our homes and with ourselves and with our communities.
Professor of Political Science Natasha Altama McNeely had a chance to speak to Common about his social activism. When asked about what he would say to people who are afraid to express their concern about issues that they care about, Common had this to say.
We weren't created in fear, we weren't born in fear. In our truest moments of who we are not fearful people. Fear is a story that's being told in our mind. Things that you truly envision for yourself, they're going to happen for you.
According to V-Link, the next Distinguished Speaker Series will present Lana Condor virtually on March 2nd, 2022. This is Felix Balderas with Vaquero Radio.
For more details on that event, visit www.utrgvradio.com. Now it's time for COVID updates. According to the Cameron County Public Health website, as of February 4th, there have been 230 confirmed COVID cases, bumping the total number of cases to 69,787. According to Hidalgo County, the Hidalgo County website, as of today, February 7th, 97 cases were confirmed, bringing up the total confirmed count to 97,275. Please stay safe and continue to take the necessary precautions to prevent and avoid testing positive.
And now for this week's event calendar.
What is up, Vaqueros? This week for events, we have today a billiards tournament at 2 p.m. in the East End Game Room. Followed by tomorrow, we have the 2022 Elections Meet the Candidate Series, Joy Diaz, at 1 p.m. in the Edinburgh Student Union Theater. And on Wednesday, we have the FIFA 22 tournament at 2 p.m. in the East Dun 2.100 in the game room as well. And on Thursday, we have Week of Welcome Tailgate hosted by the Vaquero Village at 5 p.m. On Friday, February 11th, we have 2022 Valentine's at Civil Hall in the entrance in front of the Engineering Hall. And last but not least, on Monday, February 14th, we have Vaquero Radio hosting their 2022 Valentine's Day Festival at Eastside Big Patio Lawn in Edinburgh. And that's it for events this week.
And McLean goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV Fieldhouse.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
Alrighty, Vaqueros. This week for sports, we have Meet the Vaqueros February 8th at 11:30 a.m. for women's basketball at Easton Lawn. Followed by games for this week, we have UTRGV at Seattle Redhawks this Thursday, February 10th at 9 p.m. at the Climate Pledge Arena. On February 12th, Saturday, we have UTRGV at California Baptist Cancers at 9 p.m. at the CBU Events Center. And that's all for sports.
Now for this week's campus weather report.
On to the weather. According to the National Weather Service office located in Brownsville, Texas, in Edinburgh today will bring an 80% chance of rain with a high near 60. Tuesday will be sunny with a high near 64 and a wind chill value between 37 to 47 in the early morning. Wednesday and Thursday will both be sunny with highs near 68. And Friday will bring a 20% chance of rain, but will be partially sunny with a high near 67. In Brownsville, today we will have a 90% chance of rain with a high near 60. Tuesday will be sunny with a high near 63 and a chill value between 40 and 45 in the early morning. Wednesday and Thursday will have a high near 67, and Friday will have a 20% chance of rain with a high near 68. With a high near 68. That wraps it up for this week's weather.
And that's it for this week's newscast. Be sure to tune in next week.
Make sure to download the Radio FX app.
And listen to Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station.
Until next time, this is Rodolfo Alvarado. Have a pleasant week.
This has been Vaquero Radio News.